Honorable Delegate of Chile. Honorable Delegate of Venezuela.
Present and voting.
Honorable Delegate of France. Okay. Honorable Delegate of Jordan. Absent. Honorable Delegate of Lithuania.
Present.
Honorable Delegate of Malaysia. Honorable Delegate of People's Republic of China.
Present.
Honorable Delegate of New Zealand. Honorable Delegate of Russian Federation. Honorable Delegate of Spain.
Present and voting.
Honorable Delegate of United Kingdom. Honorable Delegate of United States.
Delegation of the United States present and voting.
Honorable Delegate of Palestine.
Present and voting.
Thank you. Present. Not voting. So if I'll remind you again that we've been having a moderated caucus with the 10 minutes of total time and 1 minute and 30 seconds of speaker's time with the topic of Palestine and Israel conflict and the ways of solution of this problem also. So the last speaker was Russian Federation, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so any delegates wishing to speak to this topic? Okay, delegates, since you voted for this motion to be passed and to be discussed at the moderated caucus, it means that majority of you wants to, discuss about this thing. You know what I mean? It means that not only US and Russian Federation should be interested in this topic, but also the others, those who are voted for. Okay? So, any delegates wishing to speak? Honorable Delegate of People's Republic of China, you have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable delegates, People's Republic of China thinks that in order to find new solutions, we have to identify the problem between Israel and Palestine. Second, it's putting new notions that, such as separating these areas into equally. And third is by any means, by financial means, we have to invest and we have to build their economy. And thirdly, we have to provide access to education of people. And five is Israel, for Israel also, for Palestine also, China thinks that the real solution will be agreement between two parts. Thank you. I yield back to Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of China, and the floor is for Delegate of New Zealand.
I have one question for delegates from China. You said that you want to separate this territory equally, but how do you want to do it when we have so serious moments like Jerusalem? This is a place of Israel and the Palestinian people too. What do you want to? What are you going, or how are you going to resolve this problem?
Thank you for your question. We have to talk. We have to conduct talk with Israel and with Palestine, and we have to know that Jerusalem it's not on the land of Israel, and it's not land of Palestine. It's a land of all religious and for all mankind. So about Jerusalem, it's another topic. We'll talk about Jerusalem in another moderated caucus. Thank you. I'll floor back to Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of Chile.
Well, the delegation of Chile thinks that it's not possible, probably, to divide totally equally the two territories of Israel and Palestine, because we know that Israel has got much more territories under its control than Palestine. So if we try to also divide the two territories, we should also think at which are the territories that now are under the controls of the two states. Thank you. I I yield the time to questions.
Okay, considering what Jill said, whenever you're dividing the territories, you have to consider the population, who is living there and who has this territory. So whenever you're dividing equally, you have to have the criteria by which you are dividing it. You couldn't just say, okay, we're dividing it equally. So you have to kind of have have something actually underlying it. So why it's equal? Russian Federation.
Example of the equal division between countries when, as United States say, bilateral talks, only Israel and Palestine. If these two countries will talk together without anyone else, it will never be. These two countries will not be able to equally divide these countries.
Excuse me, delegate of Russian Federation. As far as we know, we have a moderated caucus where you have to address your question to the delegate of Jill.
But I'm not supporting the equal division. I'm saying that, in my opinion, and in the opinion of delegation of Chile, it is impossible to divide equally the two territories because they have got two different. Well, they're extended in two different ways. So, in my opinion, and the opinion of the delegation of Chile, it's impossible to have an equal division. And that was an answer, a response to delegation of China. I wasn't saying that I was dividing equally in some way the two states.
Thank you, delegation of Chile. So the word is for United States of America.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the delegation of the United States thinks it's absolutely ridiculous that China proposes to divide the Israeli and Palestine territories equally. Since there are living 8 million people in the Israeli territories and just 4.4 million people in the territory of the Palestine, we think it's absolutely inappropriate to divide the lands equally. I think it's, and I think we all can agree. Thank you.
Thank you. The delegation of the United States of America. Venezuela, please.
Honorable Chair, dear delegates, I also would agree on the idea that equal division of land between Palestine and Israel is impossible, first of all, by the fact that the population size is different, and secondly, that the historical background of the countries are different. And what could be done in this situation is to find some common grounds, like when it was some common grounds on the issue, like in the case of Kashmir, or in the case of border demarcation in Central Asia. Common grounds could be found, but not equal division. Thank you.
The delegation of Venezuela, People's Republic of China, floor is yours.
I'm not saying directly to divide it to country into equally, because why I said, because in 1967 there was such an agreement. If there will be equal size of these lands, equal size of lands for Palestine, for Israel, there will be solution. Because that time, population of Israel, population of Palestine, not was equal. Though Palestine was more than Israeli people. So now they just demand from Palestine demands just equal size of their land. They don't demand another thing. But despite that, we don't care about their demands. We have to care about their demands also, and then there will be solution for that. So I think before the World War II, there wasn't any. There wasn't just minority of Israeli people. Now, most of majority was this Arabic or Palestinian Christians and Muslims. So I think it's not easy to talk just there was majority is Israel, majority is Palestine. We have to think also, as you said, history background, and we have to know, we know that it wasn't equal until World War II and after World War II. Even if you now will compare.
The time's up.
Thank you. I will go back, Chair.
Thank you. United States of America.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the delegation of the United States would like to remind China of the, in 1967, mutually agreed swaps, which means that it's up to Palestine and Israel to together solve the issues on the borders. It's not up to us, as I've been reminding you before. Also, the United States would like to thank Venezuela for the support and thinks it's a really clever idea to leave it up to the countries themselves. Also, would like to urge Palestine to say something about this issue because I think they're not here for nothing. Thank you.
Okay, so on behalf of the being a chair here, I want to give a word for Palestinian delegates, so we could hear what they prepared today and what their status today and what they're actually asking for. So, honorable delegates, you'll have a minute and 30. So you could speak up and tell what you want and what the situation right now, and please be clear as possible.
Thank you. Honorable delegates, the Palestinian initiative seeks to end occupation and realize the establishment of the state of Palestine. It doesn't seek to delegitimize or isolate Israel. Rather, this step seeks to delegitimize the policies of occupation and colonization and to overcome the paralysis in the international community, especially with regard to ending Israel's impunity and compelling its compliance with international law. The Palestinian steps is consistent with compelling the formal Palestinian recognition of Israel in 1993 and consistent with the international endorses goal of the peace process, two states living side by side in peace and security of the basis of pre-1967 borders, which necessarily requires an independent state of Palestine. Therefore, recognition is necessary to achieve the ultimate objective of the two-state solution and expedite its realization at a time when Israel is innocently and recklessly undermining that solution and the prospects for the achieving a just peace. Finally, the Palestinian initiative at the United Nations.
Honorable delegate, thank you. So as far as I understood, you are asking for recognition of the Palestinian state?
Yes.
Yes, of course, we recognize.
And that's all what you are asking for right now? Could you be like clear and say like 1, 2, 3 what we want so everyone could be clear about it?
Yes, of course.
So we'll give you a time. The Honorable Delegate of Chile.
It was a point of parliamentary inquiry. We were talking about borders, not about independence. So we were discussing about how to divide the two territories, not to find a solution as a two states one. So we are just talking about borders. So if you have got something to tell us about the borders, maybe, I don't know, you would like to have, that's what we were talking about. Thank you.
How to divide borders, you ask?
If you had, I don't know, any request about borders, because that's what the topic of the moderated caucus.
Honorable Delegate of Palestine, could you hear me well?
No.
Really? Okay, I can make it here. So here is it, all delegations who are discussing the two-state situation. So some of the delegates are actually proposing the equal dividing of states and some of the against of it. So whenever I asked you a question, what is your position today? I was asking you what you want today, not about your independence in history. About 1967, we all know what happened. So I think everyone actually prepared for it and knows what happened. So could you tell us about your territorial disputes right now? What are you sticking to, what you want, and actually how you are looking to the two-state situation? What do you think about it, and what's your country's position? And please be precise and clear in what you are saying. Did you understand me?
Yes, of course.
Or your co-delegate could help you. Just a second. We want to hear the position of the Palestine. So whenever we'll finally do it.
So,
Okay,
dear
that's-
delegates, we just want to that we invite the international community to lend us its support, and in so doing, undertake a practical and long overdue step towards reforming the illegitimacy of Israel occupation and the urgency of realizing the two-state solution.
Okay, thank you. Here's the situation. The delegation of France today, unfortunately, doesn't speak English. So he will tell everything in Russian, and I, as a co-chair, will translate you to English. So please, like sentence by sentence, okay?
Еще раз добрый день. Прошу прощения, что не выступил на английском языке. Мне бы хотелось предложить такую идею. В любом случае, если сейчас решать мирным путем, то есть разделение Палестины и Израиля, и даже военным путем, Палестина пострадает, поскольку она не в состоянии в данный момент. Моя идея — разделить, как сложилось исторически, территориально, то есть по геополитике, Палестину и Израиля, но такие важные аспекты, то есть города, значимые и для Палестины, и для Израиля, как Иерусалим, оставить по попечению ООН. Точно такая ситуация была в Кипре, когда Турция и Греция не могли разделить данную ситуацию, то есть Кипр. У них есть точно такое территориальное место, которое принадлежит ООНу. Самая нормальная ситуация в данный момент поступить так, самая разумная. То есть и независимость получает и Палестина, и плюс еще и Израиль не теряет свою историческую важность город, за что она цепляется.
Okay, thank you, the delegation of France. And what he said is, I'm translating to all who doesn't speak Russian. So his idea was the delegation of France actually proposed to use the situation which happened in Cyprus conflict, as far as all you know, what happened between Turkey and Greece whenever the UN came and put the buffer line, the green line between both sides. So the France is actually proposing to leave everything geopolitically, how it's divided right now. So to keep it everything, but by one thing that all the major cities, which is like important cities, they will be left by the United Nations. So they will be under the control of United Nations. So by his idea, Palestine will get the independence, and the important cities which were really important for Israel will be under the control of United Nations. Is there any questions for the delegation of France? Is there any questions for delegation of France? Delegation of Spain, please.
Well, my question goes to the France. As long as you mentioned you would like to solve this issue quietly and no one is going to suffer. But besides, you mentioned that the territory of the Jerusalem is going to belong to the United Nations. And besides, it is quite a big territory that can belong to the one organization. And what about the population that is currently living in Jerusalem? So where they should live?
Вы поняли вопрос? Да.
Опять же приведу пример. Те люди, которые оказались в той территориальной зоне под попечительством ООН в Кипре, они разделились надвое. Те, которые хотят жить в Греции, и те, которые хотят жить в Турции. По своему усмотрению. Для каждого человека, то есть в данный момент это свое решение. И я считаю, что люди, народ, то есть не пострадает, и оно поступит, как оно хочет. В данный момент мы сейчас еще в данной позиции, если мы так решим, мы будем учитывать еще и голос народа. Что он хочет?
Excuse me, I'll just ask one thing. Что будет в Иерусалиме, никто жить не будет? В Иерусалиме никто жить не будет?
Можно сделать так, но можно сделать...
Okay, so guys, what he's proposing is, his answer was that everyone knows about the Cyprus conflict, so he wants to actually kind of copy it and to do it. Like whenever the United Nations came to Cyprus, they told that everyone who wants to live on the Turkish side, they will live on Turkish side and in Greece side as well. So he's proposing that everyone who wants to live in Palestinian side, can go there, and everyone who wants to live in Israeli side can go there. So this is what France is proposing. Is there any questions for France? Okay, chill.
So you're proposing that in the main cities there won't be a government. Well, there will be the United States, the United Nation, but well, the government is not chosen by people. So, well, I don't think that's a good solution because we know that for having a good state and maybe a democracy or whatever it is, the people has to choose which is their government. We don't have to impose nothing to anyone because United Nations doesn't do this. Thank you.
A distinguished delegate of France. The United States has three questions. First, this is a really big impedance of the sovereignty of Israel, or don't you agree? Secondly, this is a one-sided solution, only of which Israel is the only victim. Also, how does this change the border conflict? How does it solve anything? I think at this moment, the Israeli people live in Israel, and the same is for the people from Palestine. So I don't think the solution is going to contribute at all, and it's just going to be leading to a lot of resistance. And the UN, and furthermore, the UN does not even has the mandate to do this. I would like to remind you on that. Thank you.
On about possibility of bilateral talks for 20 minutes, and each delegate have about 1 minute 30 seconds.
Excuse me, point of parliamentary inquiry. What was the topic? I didn't.
Possibility of bilateral talks, 20 minutes at all, and per person 130.
Thank you.
Second. So, who is for the motion about possibilities of bilateral talks? Please raise your placards. Who is for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who is against? Who is against? We're 12 delegates who are not voting. People, come on, we're sitting here like... Who is for? Please raise your placards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Most of you are for, so the motion is passed. So, Russian Federation, do you want to speak first?
Yes. So, Honorable Chair, delegates, the thing is that now when we are talking about this situation, people are still dying. So, the thing is that we are not able to just put Israel and Palestine together because by history, there are about more than 100 years, and still they are not able to resolve this problem. And as Palestine said, they need our help. They said that they need our support of international community. So let's help them together. And as they said, they don't want intervention. They didn't want to do it in peace way because peace in peaceful way, it's impossible. There are about 100 years, still they are not able to do it in peaceful way. So they ask about talks with Israel, but also international community should be there just to control and to support these two countries. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Russian Federation. Does anyone have a question to the Russian Federation? If not, is there anyone who wills to speak during this moderated caucus? Lithuania, please, floor is yours.
Thanks for speech. Republic of Lithuania would like to support the idea of the United States of America about the bilateral problem solving of the two states, Palestine and the Israel. And as Russia said, it's impossible to do it with peace because without intervention, it's impossible. and France said that it could be implemented as the situation of the Cyprus, but I would like to say that it's not possible to use that kind of model of peacekeeping in this situation, because we shall consider this situation as a unique case. Every situation is unique. So before that, Russian Federation mentioned that there was no any agreement between them. But I would like to mention that before that there was signed two Oslo declarations, and they were going to the peaceful agreement, but the agreement process was interrupted by the radical opponents and the left-sided mutinies supported by the third parties. Thank you.
I have a question to Russian or to Lithuania. Hey guys, just not being chair, but just being a person. I want to ask you, like, is it really interesting for you to go to the history and debate on the things that really not interesting? I mean, you are not getting to the thing, you know. You have a really interesting conflict like Israel and Palestine, where Israel is bombing without anything, where UN just not doing what they have to do, you know. It's not getting it's not effective, and you are all sitting and talking about some bilateral discussions which are not leading to anything. Come on, people, you have to have fun from it, and you have to enjoy what you are doing, and you have to discuss and have a hot debate, you know. But what you have all now, you are dreaming about having lunch or coffee break again. Seriously, let's do something and propose real things and have something. I mean, what friends did it, but even he doesn't speak English. He kind of proposed something and you rejected it. But what you have else? Do you have something? Let's stand up and don't lean on this. It's 2 days, you know. Just get up and do something, really. Come on, people. So, United States of America, you have minute and 30.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the United States very much welcomes this initiative for bilateral talks, as we've been proposing before. However, if we want to have bilateral talks, we have to keep in mind that we cannot have bilateral talks between unequal partners. At this point, Palestine is not a state, so a two-state solution is only possible if Palestine is a state. Secondly, if we want to have talks about a bilateral solution, we need to have peace. How do we ensure peace in this region that's been fighting against each other for so long? And what the United States thinks is important, and what's really a concern of all of us, is that the trust is most important for these two parties. And I think that this Security Council should work on trust before we can take any further steps. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate of United States of America. Is there anyone who wants to speak on the motion? China?
You said, honorable delegate of United States, you said that you have to we have to build trust between Palestine and Israel. As you said, Palestine and Israel, it's not equal. Israel is a state, Palestine is an observer state of United Nations, sorry. And we have to, first of all, give the independence and sovereignty of Palestine, first of all, and then we have to go with this bilateral agreements. Thank you. I yield the floor back to Chair.
Thank you, Delegation of China. Anyone else? United States of America.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, I think the Republic of China just echoed me and echoed my statement, so I'm very welcoming that. And I would love to hear other delegations speak on this topic, and I yield my time for any other state to speak up.
Did actually United States of America recognize Palestine? Okay, the New Zealand.
We want to say that first of all, we have to resolve this all problem. We have to give independence of Palestine. So after that, we can resolve the problem with the borders. And secondly, when we will give independence to Palestine, the main problem is terrorist groups like IG and so on. So. Secondly, for take a peace, we have to destroy this terrorist group.
Okay, thank you, delegation of New Zealand. Anyone else? Actually, countries, whenever you talk about the recognition of the Palestine, just Google if you are already did it or your country didn't do it, and what's your position. Because it's really funny when you're saying that we have to recognize it, but your country didn't recognize it. So, China.
I couldn't get I couldn't get delegate of New Zealand last statement, the last point, and about terrorist groups in Palestine. And can you specify this about this group?
Point of order.
Yes, Russian Federation.
Honorable delegates, if you have any question or something else, you can use from points, point of information, because I think that some delegates didn't understand. It's your question, your order, or something else. Thank you
The
very much.
delegation of People's Republic of China didn't understand the last statement of the delegation.
And we are delegate of our countries, and we can add our ideas. Please use the word of our or our government. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Honorable Delegate of Russian Federation.
Are there any delegates wishing to speak? Honorable delegates of the delegate of People's Republic of China, followed by United States of America.
I'm sorry again. Honorable delegate of China wants to know the answer of last statement of New Zealand. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate.
The Honorable Delegate of New Zealand, could you please clarify your last statement for the delegation of the People's Republic of China?
Honorable Delegate of People's Republic of China.
I want to ask a last statement about terroristic group. About I couldn't get which group exactly attacking.
Honorable Delegate of New Zealand, your last speech about the terroristic groups in Palestine, the Honorable Delegate of China didn't hear it. So could you please repeat it?
It's it's not correct to say which is terrorist group or start it everything, but it's clear that in this war, not only war between the governments or refugees, there is terrorist groups too, because if we don't destroy this way, I guess the most important and the hardest way will be to destroy this in that situation. What about government? What about government problems? I guess it will be more easier.
Thank you, the delegation of New Zealand. Did China understand what?
I really didn't get exact
Okay, you'll
answer.
have unmoderated caucus. You'll have break to actually go and talk to New Zealand.
Thank you.
The Honorable Delegate of Chile.
It was just a question to the delegation of New Zealand. Well, it's not a question, it's a point of information. Here now we are talking about governments. We are not here to find a solution for terroristic groups. Well, in this moment, the main topic is not about resolving terror or going against the terroristic groups. We're just talking about finding a solution to Palestine and Israel governments and their division. Thank you.
Thank you, delegation of Chile. Russian Federation, please, floor is yours.
I also want to say that delegate of
Chile.
Delegate of Chile, I agree with you because there are about 7 countries who was voted for talk about bilateral talks, but now you're talking about terrorism. So there are different things, I think. So, and not answer, but comment to Lithuania. You said that 2 nations are able
Excuse me, the speakers list is time to speak for the delegate who has raised the placard. But if you want to have a question to be asked for you,
No, I mean 15 families. May I comment?
oh, you want to comment?
Yes, of
Yeah, that's your time. Yeah, don't ask me.
So, dear delegates, the point of Russia is to prevent all of military actions in Israel and Palestine by help of United Nations peacekeeping army. It's just our support and our idea of Russian Federation. In that kind of situation, we are not able to do anything else. Thank you very much. And time is given to Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Delegates of Russian Federation. Honorable Delegate of United States of America, floor is yours.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates. United States of America greatly regrets the deaths of 15 families and urges the Security Council to take action. However, as we've been stating before, if we want to come to a two-state solution, we have to be critical on what state we're giving mandate to. At this point, the PLO does not have the legitimacy it should have. We should have free elections in the Palestine region. We should have a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Palestine. We should have a non-aggression commitment by Palestine, and they should stop spreading fear and break bonds with terrorist groups like Hamas before we can proceed to any two-state solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. How would you like to use your time?
I'd like to yield my time back to chairs.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Honorable Delegate of People's Republic of China, floor is yours. If you want to be added to the speakers list, you have to send a piece of paper with your country name. You can continue.
I will comment regarding to this issue. I think we have to first of all identify causes and reasons of attack or killing of people, and which part we don't know. Israel or Palestine. Maybe it's a terrorist from Palestine, maybe it's a militants of Israel. So we have to identify, first of all, who is responsible for this attack, who is attacked, who did kill this civil people. Thank you. I will flow back to Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Delegates. Honorable Delegate of Venezuela.
The delegate of Venezuela is really sorry to hear. The delegate of Venezuela is really sorry to hear about the accident that happened to the 15 families and urges the international community as well as the UN and other international institutions to demand an end of military actions in Gaza by the Israelis, and UN should address the systematic violation of human rights of the Palestinian population in Gaza by the state of Israel, and adopt all necessary measures to hold those violations, because killing people, it is already a violation of human rights, and we demand an end of Israel's ongoing bombardment of Gaza. And I will give my time to the chair.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of Venezuela. Honorable Delegate of United States of America, floor is yours.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, I think the question the Republic of China asked, the People's Republic of China asked, is really a good question, because we are not sure who is responsible for the killing of these 15 families. However, it's still a really, really bad thing, and we should, as a Security Council, have an opinion on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of United States of America. Please, delegates, don't forget to yield your time back to the chair or to the other delegates or to the questions. Thank you. So, Honorable Delegate of Russian Federation, floor is yours.
Yes, Honorable Delegates, thank you for... Thank you. So, as was idea of United States and China, the supporting, trying to find who is responsible of killing these families, and all of us should understand that it takes lots of time to understand what, why, how, and all of that question needs time. But when we will think about that, we are not able to know how many families will die. So let's do something together. Russia was supporting an idea of interforcing United Nations peacekeeping army. So if it's possible, if it's okay for you, let's talk about this situation. Let's talk about that. Thank you. Time give to the honorable chair.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Chairs wants to remind that the Honorable Delegate of Palestine can be easily added to the speakers list if they want to. You can send the piece of paper with the country name, and we can add you to the speakers list. And you can give a feedback on the upcoming breaking news that 15 families have been killed in Gaza sector. And if you want to, you can be added later on. Now we continue with the Honorable Delegate of Chile, and followed by Chad. Honorable Delegate of Chile, the floor is yours. Thank you.
I'd like to highlight and to talk about this to all the delegations who thinks to move on an army move, because we know, well, we are witnessing to this killing of lots and lots of people from bombs and things like this. How can you think that if we act with army and with others missiles or bombs from UN, how can you think that both Israel and Palestine would not answer us, or would keep on with bombs and things if we impose a government? If we do it with strength, they could answer us with strength, and we would just go to a lower level, and we would just get to a lower crisis of the situation and of both the states. Thank you. I yield back my time to share.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. Honorable Delegate of Chad.
United States of America, that always we know that the first support of United UN is United States. All the time they are saying that this much people killed by this group, but we know. But they are always saying that we are searching for why they killed. But we want to know that what they have planned for this, for solving. They are saying that we want to know that who killed these people. If it is going like this, maybe more than people after this kill. And I want to know that what is the plan for stopping this specific solving. Like, we should not see this like this again. It is not about a small small groups that killed 15 families. It means that it is a big group that kills 15 families in once.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of Chad. Please don't forget to yield your time. Honorable Delegate of Russian Federation, you have...
Point of order.
Yes?
Okay. Honorable Chair, Honorable Delegates, I just want to ask what for we are sitting here? What for United Nations Peacekeeping Army?
Excuse me, Honorable Delegate of Russian Federation. Point of order means that you are going to correct someone, or
yes, okay.
or the
I'm going to correct,
chair.
Chile, sorry.
I think okay, let me explain the situation in Real Security Council. In Real Security Council, nobody will be correcting directly someone. For example, imagine I'm a US and I want to say like, hey, yo, Palestine, you're saying, incorrectly, just change your, I don't know, topic or the dialect. You cannot do directly so.
Way. No, it's okay. I will do it.
Yeah, so try to be more, I know it's maybe, I don't know if it's your first or second or third MUN, but at least if you will, I just want you tomorrow to have something with you from this MUN. If you'll at least learn what is what and how to speak at least at the committees, it will be a big, huge plus for us. Okay, yes. Thank you. So we'll continue.
Yes, my question to Chile was...
Honorable Delegate of Russian Federation. Honorable Delegate of Russian Federation, you're disqualified for 10 minutes. Thank you.
Okay.
So Honorable Delegate of Lithuania, floor is yours. Honorable Delegate of Lithuania.
Thanks for speech. I would like to some kind of answer to the Russian Federation, but...
Honorable Delegate of Lithuania, could you please speak louder?
So the Republic of Lithuania emphasizes condolences to the people who lost their relatives, friends, and so on. So first of all, we call all the countries to, first of all, eliminate the radical forces who are interrupting the agreement processes and have been having supports from the third parties. And then I would like to say to the Russian Federation, but they disqualified, but still I'll say it, by the UN Charter, no one has a right to intervene into the country without the permission of any. So thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegates. Honorable Delegate of United States, floor is yours.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, the delegation of the United States would like to respond to the question forwarded by chat. First of all, I would like to say that the United States has just proposed a solution to create a Palestine state that has fulfilled some requirements, some conditions. Second of all, we don't think it's exclusively the United States to determine what happens in this council. I think we have to work together, and I think this the power and the strength of this council is to work together. The United States has proposed an idea and would like to hear all the opinions of our fellow delegates. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate of United States of America. Chair again reminds that you have to yield your time. Okay, thank you. So the floor is open for the motions. Are there any motions on the floor? Honorable Delegate of People's Republic of China.
We want to suggest talk about directly about killings and how many people killed and what was the reason of that killings, and for 10 minutes.
So the topic is
reasons of killings in Palestine and Israel.
It's moderated, yeah?
It's moderate cooks, and
so what is the total time?
10 minutes.
What's the per time?
1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Delegate. So are there any other motions on the floor? Honorable Delegate of United States.
Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, United States would like to propose for a motion, an unmoderated caucus of 20 minutes to discuss how we can start working papers and how we can solve disputes amongst each other in a more closed setting. Thank you.
So this motion is mostly in order. Thank you. So, Honorable Delegate of Chile.
Point of personal privilege. Is it possible to leave the room for 2 minutes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Thank you. So we have two motions on the floor. The first is raised by Honorable Delegate of People's Republic of China to have a moderated caucus of 10 minutes length and per delegate 1 minute with the topic of the reason of killing 15 families in a Gaza sector. So you want to clarify by whom and what, right? So those who are in favor of having this moderated caucus, please raise your placards. Those who are against? Thank you. The motion fails. Move to the next motion. Raised by the Honorable Delegate of the United States to have an unmoderated caucus of 20 minutes of break with the purpose of discussing the possible solution ways of the situation in Middle East and Palestine. So those who are in favor of having 20 minutes of break with the topic that I have said before. So those who are in favor, please raise your placards. Honorable Delegate of Chad. You have to vote yes or no.
No.
So you're voting against. Okay. So those who are for, so we have 5 countries for. Those who are against. Okay, delegates. Those who are for means those who are for. Those who are against means that they don't really want to talk about this topic at all. So Honorable Delegate of Chad, you're voting for or against?
Against.
Against. So I said those who are against, please raise your placards. Raise your placards. Okay. So 5 for and 9 against. Since I said that this motion is in order and we need you to work over the issue, and we also as a chairs want to give you some idea about the current situation in this area. So this, since we said that this motion is in order, we want you to vote for. So we are again going back to the voting. Those who are for having this topic to be unmoderated caucus to be for the 20 minutes, please raise your placards. Okay, now 6, 7, 7, 4. Those who are against. Okay, this motion passes. So we have 20 minutes of unmoderated caucus. Please do not leave the room. Work together. Also, I want Palestine to be more active. Okay? Since this problem is more like about you and about the Middle East, we need to hear from you. And I think Aset, he can help you with understanding the situation or managing some questions. Okay, thank you. Please do not leave the room. Thank you.
Мы же вот ясно сказали, что вот чего мы хотим.
Palestine House all states and international organization. 4-5 пункт, который
Да, вот этот вопрос кто нам задал, вы? Мы хотели ответить на этот вопрос.
Если вы хотите ответить на вопрос, вам просто напишите from Palestine to...
А мы не знаем, кто это задал.
Ну тогда обычно пишут from to, потом вы пишете from to, и отвечаете на вопрос, понимаете? С какого университета?
Правильно, книжки, вы отдадите сектор Газа, но не отдадите Иерусалим, или что?
Нет, мы готовы отдать сектор Газа? Нет, не отдать полностью. Что сейчас идет обсуждение. Мы готовы разделить сектор Газа между Палестиной и
Газа вот такая, мы пишем, что
население. И все равно аннулировать не отбывается. Иерусалим также self-determinate.
Тоже поделить по населению?
Иерусалим?
Тоже поделить по населению?
Где доминирует?
А может это нейтралитетом?
Да.
Это странно.
Нейтральная территория.
Это же город для туристов тоже. Как потом будете это решать?
Давайте тогда нейтрально
Сейчас невинная речь говорим, мы хотим, поэтому мы хотим сказать для храма.
Вы выделите поинты, конкретно четкие поинты, и старайтесь их доказывать.
Вот, допустим, вы чего хотите, чтобы вас оставили с Израилем или что?
С Израилем, конечно.
Потому что мы вмешиваемся, просто видите, вас мотивирует ООН, вы сейчас живете благодаря ООН, хотя USA и так далее.
Что все страны
Border restrictions, зачем вам
включая США?
Мне кажется, это станет.
Вам не